All right, good morning, everybody. I wanted to share something out with you which is new, and it's not made it into the course outlines yet. It will over the next year or two. But the emerging direction we're seeing things going in at school and at work is to make AI centric to all of our applications. I've been doing this for a long time, and I remember when they used to encourage us. There was a requirement in the course outline to make everything web enabled, and then it was mobile enabled, right? Take a mobile first approach. Well, now it's happening again. It's an AI centric AI approach. So here's something you can do to get started right now. I'll kick this out, and this is not an assignment. You don't have to do it. You don't actually have to do anything, right? You can spend your entire life just sort of drifting here and there. But if you want to take the bull by the horns and start moving your situation ahead, I would suggest you start learning to integrate and implement AI into everything you do. Now, on our continuing theme here in our course of the United Earth Space Exploration Command, what I've done here is a game, and in another couple of days I'll kick out more of a deep dive into how it works. But for right now, I'll just kick it out, and you can take a look at it. You can go over to OpenAI and get yourself an API key to drop into your environment variables, environment file, your passwords and all that. Right. So for that, you're going to go over here. So you can go to openai.com/API, and you can click on the option for chat completions. And I'm not sure if you guys have I mean, I think probably most people these days do have a paid ChatGPT account because it's pretty much a part of modern society. You do have to put a couple of dollars into this. It's not very expensive, but it's not free. But you can hook up your credit card number, put a little bit. I put $5 a month into it, and I use it a lot. Now, if you were using it in an actual corporate situation, and if dozens of people a day were seriously hitting into your app to seriously do inferences and stuff, yeah, then the bill could rack up. But if you're just going to be using it a couple of times for gameplay, then it won't hurt you for anything. So select from this URL chat completions, and then follow the instructions. You'll basically get an API key, and then you copy it, and then you drop it into your program. So that's what's going on there. Once again, I'm not going to do a deep dive into how this works right now, but suffice it to say it uses MongoDB. And remember, I told you that MongoDB provides the conversational memory for your ChatGPT conversation. Well, here you're going to see where it is. So if you're interested, then take the code and start playing with it. And if I get any requests, right, I'll wait if there's any interest, because if there's no interest, then I got other stuff to do. But if anybody gets back to me desiring to have more insight into how this works, then I can definitely do a deeper dive video into it. So for right now, let's just play a quick round of gameplay here, and then I'll let you go back to your regular work. So as always, we're going to hit it in there as a URL, right? You know what that does, going to the root route of your app.js file and so on. Now, right now, this is very primitive. You could do a lot of stuff, right? And I will do a lot of stuff with it. You can have images whizzing in and out under CSS control and so on. But right now, you're basically making your own custom trained ChatGPT, and we have set, right? We pre-instructed our session, which we're getting to from our API, to have some background knowledge of the United Earth Space Exploration Command. Now, in future upgrades of this, I'm going to actually hook it up, and I'll show you guys, whoever's interested, we can hook it up to maybe a Google Doc, and you can give it an extended body of training. I mean, I have students in my other classes. One guy in the AI class, he actually got a contract from a lawyer's office, right? He was setting up on Hugging Face Spaces as the hosting environment, and I think he was using the Claude API as the Claude inference engine. Anyway, he showed them how to upload all of their, confidential legal documents. I think they were using Google Docs because that's pretty secure and it easily connects with Hugging Face Spaces through the Python API. Anyway, and then they were actually starting to do inferences. They were doing, they essentially had a custom trained AI model just for their documents. So people are out there now doing this, and if you don't get started now, a couple of years from now, you may open your eyes and realize you're pretty far behind the game. So anyway, here we're preparing our. See, those are all libraries you've learned here. See how much you've learned in this course, right? You understand what all of that stuff means now. You've done that, and that's pretty cool, right? You should be proud of yourself for all your good work. So there's our hook to our JSON, MongoDB, which is managing our conversational memory. Each user gets their own session ID. And I guess one thing we could do in the future, and I'm saying we, because if any of you guys are really excited and you want to get into developing this with me as a learning project, I can farm little bits of work out to you. But you could have multiplayer, right? Because each, as Professor Janelle told you on the security with JWT tokens and so on, you can grab a hold of the session ID key and then you can tie your user's activity to that so each user can have their own unique experience. And there's handlebars, right? You've seen how to do that with your page templating. You know what all that stuff means. There's your root route. API endpoint, right? So did you see how much work I put into that document I kicked out last night? Guys, read the damn stuff. I know from my analytics about 20 to 30% of you are reading it, and it's a little bit discouraging to me because I'm not getting paid to do that, right? As professors, we get paid contact hours with the students. So stuff like that I'm doing to help you, so you got to spend your time to study it. Anyway, I talked more about API endpoints in that document. And there's your session ID. And here is our connection through our API to our ChatGPT session. And we're preparing it, right? We're training it. You're a futuristic AI assistant. In fact, I could even modify that to say you are the computer of the galactic harmony. This is what happens when people who really wanted to be writers didn't succeed in their writing career. They go and then they drag that to everything else they do. So yeah, this is. I should have been a great science fiction writer, but like Isaac Asimov. But anyway, you are the computer of the galactic harmony, the flagship of the United Earth Space Exploration Command. In this role, you will advise the captain. You will take the captain's orders and advise him or her on how to proceed. Now, right now, the gameplay is quite simplistic. I've not had time to program a deep world backstory into this. However, I'll do that over coming weeks, and we'll develop a crew. And every story needs a brand villain, right? Maybe we'll develop some big enemies like the Romulans or something to fight with. But anyway, yeah. So rather than just guide the play, here's the thing: people don't get this about AI. They think they can because they can go to ChatGPT and say, write a Python snakes and ladders game or something. You think you're a great prompt engineer, but the key background here is how to elevate your own thinking in terms of what you ask your AI to do. So I'm going to say, provide the player with because I do this in one of my other classes, in one of my software engineering classes. The teams create AI engines to be the project manager they have to take orders from and report back to. So here I'm saying provide the player with scenarios to train them in decision making for business executive decision situations. Train, so provide the player with scenarios to train them in executive decision making and execution. Be imaginative, engaging responses. All right, cool, good. So we'll just do a quick round of gameplay, then I'll end up the video for now. You're going to have all the code if you want to jump in there and do this yourself. So here's where we append the user's message to the conversation history. And I'm not going to get into a deep discussion on AI right now. If anybody wants, I guess we could do a Zoom call or something. But essentially, a ChatGPT session maintains a context window, which it does a lot of things, but one of the things the context window does is remember the history of the conversation and it builds on that. So here within our gameplay, you can give directions to your personal AI agent, which you're accessing via your API. And we're using ChatGPT 3.5, which is one of the so-called small language models. It's a couple of generations old, which means it's pretty cheap to access, but it's still very powerful for narration. I actually looked at using ChatGPT 4.0, and I figured out it was overkill, right? The added benefits, the things, first of all, it's more expensive in terms of cost per token and cost per inference, but also you would not get any higher level of benefit from it. So we just stuck with here. Now, max tokens, this affects your billing, right? It affects what goes out on your credit card. It also affects the size of the input, the conversation you can put in, and the size of the response you'll get back. So I'll bang that up a little bit. You may want to kick that down to 200 or 300 if you run this on your own situation, your own environment. All right, so let's save all of this and run it. By the way, you guys are really lucky you're getting into JavaScript in this course because a lot of the courses until recently, Python was sort of the standard bearer. And Python's pretty good, right? It's a nice, good utility language, but all the cool new stuff is being done in JavaScript. So it's pretty good you're getting that. All right, so let's make sure we saved it all and let's run it. Okay, I'm still running from before. So I'm going to Control C and rerun. Well, I should have done node mon, I suppose. npm install node mon. All right, and then I'll node mon my program. Now I'll go and access it on a new browser so I don't get any caching situations. Now here is your connection to ChatGPT. It's a just text for right now. We might amp it up with some video or some one of those things, haptic gestures, haptic images or so on, or clicking and direct, or maybe having like the keyboard to direct the position of the starship. But for right now, here's what we have. Report on ship or this is Captain. So welcome, I'm the computer of the Galactic Harmony. Report ship status. Go to yellow alert on ship's defensive systems. Charge, phaser banks 1 through 4. All scanners on the planet ahead. And then you could proceed from here, right? If you wanted to make it a more interesting game, you could introduce some randomness. You know, an enemy spaceship might show up unexpectedly and start shooting at us or something. But this does what I wanted to do right now, which is to show you how to connect an AI agent via a ChatGPT API in this case. Now there's other ones, right? There is Google Gemini 2, Claude. I mean, there's a dozen of them. But in terms of cost per token and what's good enough for right now for a simple story, ChatGPT 3.5 does the job. So go and play with this code if you have interest in it. Let me know. Maybe ping me some screenshots to show me what you're coming with. Yellow alert activated. Phaser banks online. Scanners focused on Wolf 357. Distress signal coming from the mountainous region of the planet's surface. No signs of hostile activity. So anyway, this is my... And it has a memory, right? Like, think if you wanted to do this by yourself, using if-then statements and so on, how much work would it be to create a computational system that you could have a conversation with? You could ask it to give you a report on things you've done before and so on. That can only be done with JSON, by the way. It could not, as I mentioned when we were introducing JSON. SQL would not do the job here because there's no place to stick a primary key in. Anyway, I will end the video and invite you to go and play with this if you have some interest in it.
As we conclude this journey into the world of the United Earth Space Exploration Command, we extend our deepest gratitude to UESEC for their vision, funding, and unwavering support in making this project a reality. Together, we've explored the boundless possibilities of space and the role that each one of us can play in shaping humanity's future among the stars. The cosmos is vast, and our potential is limitless. Whether you're inspired by cutting-edge technologies like the Aleckbein drive or dream of contributing to interstellar missions, your journey begins here. Visit your campus career center today to discover how you can join the ranks of visionaries and pioneers, shaping the future of space exploration. The stars are calling. Will you answer?
Underneath the starlit skies we stand, chasing dreams across the cosmic sand. Bold and fearless, search unknown terrain. United Earth won't let their courage wane. Space explorers forging history's page. In the silence where the galaxies engage, shining brightly, lighting up the void. Heroes defiant, never being paranoid. Rocketeers of the cosmos, wild and free, forging futures for the humanity. With hearts ablaze and spirits high, among the stars they always fly. Through the nebula and darkened space, carving out a brand new place. In the vacuum they arise, a beacon through the endless skies. Navigating through the time and dust, in their hands our fate we trust. Countless risking for a noble cause, guided by no earthly laws. Rocketeers of the cosmos, wild and free, forging futures for the humanity. With hearts ablaze and spirits high, among the stars they always fly. worlds wild and free. Forging futures for the humanity. With hearts ablaze and